What's up, B? Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to another episode of Live Hangouts Flying Solo. Let's just be on in this block where I guess this street right here is like a through street. There's always like trucks and shit and it's hella debris always flying off. It's like a weird little space. But I do have a guest for me today. So let me see if I can get him up here. The conversation. I want to remind you guys that I'm having a mixtape digital listening party on September 9th. I'm going to be live for 5 hours. So I'm going to have a bunch of different people coming up, talking to me about different stuff. So we're focusing on suicide prevention. September is Suicide Prevention Month. And this is my guest, Frankito the model. Who's also featured on my Born Woke, what do they call it? Album, mixtape. Hi, Frankie.
Hi.
Those of you that already know me and Frankie are husband and wife, but we're also creative partners. We've also deal with mental health issues. I'm like very like open about mine. You guys know I suffer from bipolar disorder. They said I had manic depression. Frankie was there with me. He saw physically what I went through. Before when we met, I think I helped Frankie kind of create this whole Frankie the model to kind of guide him in a more positive path, we'll say. So we know that a lot of people struggle. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to just come up here and like maybe drop some knowledge. Like, you know, people perceive us to be strong people. We go through a lot of things. We always bounce back. What can we do to provide for others who don't have that quality?
Yep. So go ahead. How you want to start this?
I already started it. It's your turn to talk now.
Okay, what people need to realize is that suicide it's a very serious thing. People tend to realize and think that it's not a disease people tend to think that it's a disease or something wrong. There's nothing wrong with mental health issues. All people seem to forget is that a lot of these suicide victims or suicide people that think about it and tend to do it, it's just people that don't have someone to talk to. You know, most of the times we want to act like, oh, we got busy and I don't have time. And then when something negative happens, you want to be the first one to, oh, rest in peace. And, oh, you know, I wish I could have done something.
So some people, let me stop you here and ask a question. So you would say some people are not sure how they can intervene. For example, like just now I said, when I met you, we were just friends, you know, we were together in this way, but not really, you know? And it's like I created the event, the brand, everything we were doing, Frankito the model, Tahyira Inc., to keep us in a positive space, regardless of how we felt about it. I had graduated out of college, you're gonna find a job, you were just coming out of whatever you were coming from, trying to find your new way, you know? So it's like you gotta find a way to kind of like what John Lewis says, get in the way. But you're saying a lot of people don't even go that far. They just be like, damn, that's crazy that you're depressed or whatever. And then the next thing you know, they'll see a hashtag like, oh my God, this person died. And now they're resting peacing.
Yeah, now you want to it's like, you know, a couple of rappers say, oh, it doesn't get real until your face is on the shirt. Right. That's what happens. Like, people don't think this is serious. Like, it's a serious matter. Like, people die from this all the time.
What can we do to encourage people to be there for people, essentially?
Only thing you could encourage at this point is just to spend, like, I have this whole thing going on with my brand, this 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So all it takes is 5 minutes or a question. How you doing? Oh, what's wrong?
Right. I like that.
But the problem
it don't even take 5 minutes. That's like 5 seconds.
Right.
But I feel you. It's like the conversation will be like
a conversation.
Right.
Ask them what they're going through. You see someone that's messed up. Yo, son, you all right? A lot of people, oh, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Blah, 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 blah. But you, like me personally, I've dealt with a lot of people that went through this, tried to help people to prevent from this.
Would you say in the community, and we're also, those of you that don't know, me and Frankie also come from the same neighborhoods. Like I went to school in 219. He grew up around the corner from that elementary school. So we spend a lot of time in that neighborhood. We feel like we can talk about that neighborhood. And then we also went to Los Angeles and kind of engulfed ourselves in another society that is equally as, I would say, maybe it's worse in LA, if anything. People kind of just basically going freaking crazy in the street, going crazy. So I don't know. Like I don't know. How do you, okay, so someone's going crazy in the street. Do you just walk up to them? Is that safe for someone to do? If they don't
But
know anything about mental health?
this is the point. Once you see them at that point in the street going nuts, there's no coming back.
So then how are they supposed to intervene?
The problem, again, the thing is like I'm saying, you
I'm
need
asking a
to take
question,
time
first of
when
all.
you see
Don't
someone.
get defensive. I'm asking you to
Just
explain further
explaining
your
to you.
point.
When you see someone at a point where you see them depressed or sad, you need to try to react at that moment. Don't react once you see them in the streets, because once you see them in the street, their brain is then gone away, it's fried, and 9 out of 10 times they're not gonna know who you are. They don't even know who themselves is, because they then got lost on.
So you're
On an
saying
idea
the
or
people
a
on the
thought or an
street,
emotion, and once you get to that point, like there's nothing bringing you back unless someone tries to catch you early in the descendants of you going into that place.
so what you're trying to say is only people that know the person have the opportunity to intervene.
Not really, but if you see, I'm just not saying if you know the person. I'm saying if you even see a person.
But you're saying if you see a person in the street going crazy, it's too late because they're already going crazy. So how are we helping? That's what I'm saying. How do you do this? If I see somebody right now going crazy, don't help them because you're saying.
I'm not saying don't help them. I'm saying that at this point, for you trying to intervene into helping them, it's too late. At this
It's an
point,
emergent situation.
they need,
like you need
yeah,
911.
they
You
need
need like to be on a
yeah,
hold. Right.
It's over. You need medical.
That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me.
Right.
Basically.
You need a
Like I
medical.
went from normal to flipping out, and it was like we can't even talk to her to find out what's going on. Straight 5150 hold.
That's
Yeah.
it. And this is what I'm saying. At that point, it's medical, AMA, send them to the hospital.
Gotcha.
Before that, you have a chance to, hey, yo, you okay? But the problem is that a lot of us in, the Black and Latino community, we're too proud to tell people, yo, something is wrong. Yo, I'm sick.
I read this quote earlier before we came on live. I did a quick research like I was telling you on the phone. The quote kept coming up, depression are the secret we all share. Like it was like an American kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, like that's really dope. It's a secret. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We're talking about suicide prevention because September is Suicide Prevention Month. But yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting to me. Like because I don't like Black and Latinos. They don't even have enough resources for us. But it's literally like a human issue that people deal with emotional health. You know. Do you want to maybe put the number out there? Like just say the number, and people can call if you're struggling.
I always say this every time I speak to people about this. I had a conversation with a big street artist. I don't know if you guys might know him. His name is Uncut. He puts on the floor, protect your heart. I had a conversation about this. I had advised people like, hey, you need somebody to talk to, you can hit me on the DM. My phone is always open, 24 hours. If not, there's the number. Give me a second. 1-800-273-8255.
What is it?
1-800-273-8255.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, they had changed it to, they released a new crisis text hotline, which is, I'm going to put it myself, it's 741-741.
So
when that number.
So when I learned about being a mandated reporter, basically when I worked in the school in Los Angeles, Frankie knew a lot. Like I said, we live in the same house. Signs, things to look at. And it's all stuff that I would have never thought of without that training. Like someone had to tell me. I would have never just thought that. One of the things was when you see a student come to work, and I think this because I dealt with high schoolers, so I think it really is for adults too. It's not like children, they're not like adolescents. They're kind of just already grown up. They're just minors, They were saying that changes in like not just mood or very obvious, but like eating, or just like lack of interest in even some of their own friends, And it's like when I started like thinking that way, it's like, first of all, I saw something in myself. I'm like, well, I definitely deal with this. I see it in my husband. I see it in my other friends. So it's interesting that there are a lot of tools and resources that we as everyday citizens in this country can do to help our friends, our family, someone that we don't know, a stranger, a neighbor. I think it's important for people to find a way to help regardless. If you don't know what to do, find out how you could do something.
The best way is just try to keep yourself aware of whatever's going on, your situations, your surroundings, your friends. Check up on your friends. Yo, what's going on, son? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Nah, I'm just checking up on you, making sure everything's all right. Blah, 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 copacetic. It may seem corny, but it's not going to be corny. Let's say, God forbid, 6 months down the line, you now putting hashtag rest in peace X, Y, and Z.
Right. And it
And that's
happens.
where a lot of people, it happens. It
Do
happened
you
to
have
me. My
friends
friend,
that oh,
I had
right.
a friend that was in my crib, I'm going to just say on a Friday, and I got a call on a Monday. He killed himself. He was supposed to sit there and watch with me my first time ever on TV. My boy JJ, may he rest in peace. And I got a phone call the next day that he died.
You can go ahead.
And it wasn't that we didn't help. Tahyira was there. We tried everything possible. But at this point, he had already convinced himself that nothing was gonna happen to him. So he went on a drug overdose and he didn't come back. But
So that's another
it
thing I
it
wanted to kind of maybe tap in here. A lot of people don't seem suicidal because we're all like drinking all the time and we're drunk all the time and we're just feeling it, because that's another sign of it too. It's like in the minute you go into some type of rehab and you don't have access to any of these things and you're really forced to deal with your situations in your life, you want to take your life. What can we say about that? Especially our generation, 30 somethings, like people born when we were born.
I mean, in that case, like I always say, the best thing to do, the best remedy is try to speak to someone, seek for some help, because most of the times it's not like a generic situation. Like, oh, he's gonna have a fever, blisters, that, and okay, now we can diagnose you for this. So the
Have
best
you
thing I
ever
can do is,
spoken to a shrink before for anything you've dealt with?
hell yeah, multiple times.
How was the
It's
experience?
nothing to. I mean, the experience is however you want to take it as a human being.
How
A
was
lot of
your
people gonna
experience?
see it. My experience was fine. I mean, I didn't have no issue with it. I took it like a champ. I mean, I didn't really have.
Did you learn anything
I
about
had issues.
yourself or
Yeah,
therapy
there's a
or
lot of things that you want to say to people, and you kind of hold it back because you don't want to or diminish their beliefs in you or the way they see you. But deep
brush?
down,
That's
you're
what I
hurt.
needed. What did I need in here?
So you rather keep it to yourself deep down than to say something out loud.
Right, right. Deep down, you're hurt, but it's easier to pretend you're strong than to actually be weak. I think being
Yo,
weak is a
shout out
strength.
to my boy. Hold on. Shout out to my boy Jameson that just joined. Y'all ever in LA and Long Beach and y'all want to put up on y'all boxing skills? Holla at my man, #1 boxing training guy in the
Why you don't
world
just do
right now.
promotions on your Instagram?
I'm gonna try that.
Everything you do, I see you do, and something random happens, you'll stop and shout out that person's thing. It's like, why
Hey,
don't you do this?
I'm
People
gonna
pay
have
for
to do this.
that. But no, legit. But anyway, I feel like this conversation went kind of long. I usually don't talk this long, but this is Live Hangouts Flying Solo, special edition, suicide prevention. Remember, on next week, Wednesday, 7 to 5, I'm going to be up here. Frank will be up here. A bunch of other of our friends will be up here. We're going live from Brooklyn, and we're talking about suicide. I think I'm going to write a few like poems. I'm going to get some quotes. I'm going to bring up some people's stories, like Robin Williams, someone who's very important to me in my childhood, Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade, people that we look up to, or seemingly think that, oh my God, they're like mad lit, and they took their lives, right? So that just proves, like what Frankie said in the beginning, this is not a joke. Oh, thank you, Frankie.
Holla holla. Like I
What's up?
said to everybody here, if you ever need some help or you need someone to talk to, hit my DMs. I'll give you my phone number and we'll definitely have a conversation. It only takes 5 seconds or 5 minutes, however you want to see it.
Alrighty, I'll see you guys later.
Later.